Peace and blessings, and welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. Opening your wallet to pay debt is stressful, and to relieve stress, fixing your credit will be a help not only to your pockets but to your mental welfare. So please call 862-250-5122 or visit www.transparentcreditrepair.com to fix your credit and receive benefits. Tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you to receive more. On this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we go to the Bronx, New York, the birthplace of hip hop, and we talk to an MC that not only has a team built on being proficient on lyrics and bringing the realness to hip hop, we have an MC that makes sure that when he touches the mic, he brings creativity, lyricism, and depth whenever he rhymes. We're talking about Rockwelz, and if you don't know who Rockwelz is, after this episode, I guarantee you will want to go hear some of his music. So with that being said, come listen to an up-and-coming great that has great things to say and a great track record behind him. Listen close, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karel from Heritage Hip Hop, and on the line today, I got somebody who's your favorite rapper's inspiration. Please inspire everybody with dropping your name on the line.
You already know, man. Peace, Heritage. This is Rockwelz of the Monopoly family. What up, y'all?
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to get to talk to you because inspirational hip-hop transcends the culture of music. What does that mean to you?
I mean, that kind of just says it all. I mean, you know, the hip hop of the essence. I mean, hip hop is so unique that you know what I'm saying, it completely changes and transcends the way you dress, the way you move, the way you act, the way you approach life. So, you know what I'm saying, just being able to inspire people with that music, you want to make sure that it's that right inspiration, it's that positive, that you know what I'm saying, that knock, that, you know what I'm saying, get you through your day. So, you know what I'm saying, that just kind of just says it all right there.
I think it does too, but hip-hop is so much deeper than the music that we create. I mean, it also talks about our ingenuity. It talks about our ability to create and to take something from nothing. What is the biggest creation that you've made since you've done hip-hop that established you as an artist?
That's difficult because, you know, as an artist, you always feel like your newest is your biggest and your best. I mean, there's plenty of moments that I'm most proud of. You know what I'm saying, I dropped a track called Black Privilege, and it just dug a little bit deeper into the way that we treat each other as black folk, and just being privileged that we're so resilient and that we can accomplish the world if you know, granted the opportunity and granted the drive and the inspiration to do it. That's a very difficult one. I mean, I won we did like third place, I think, on Coast to Coast. We did you know, I got some tracks with Fred the Godson, rest in peace, with Prodigy, rest in peace. That's so difficult, man. I mean, I feel like we're still growing in, but from what I just mentioned,
Yeah.
just being born in the Bronx, being able to collaborate and make moves with Fred the God before he was transcended to the next life, to the next world. I think that'll probably be my top contribution, I think.
Okay. I beg to differ, though. I think your top contribution is you telling your truth, because there's a truth and then there's the truth. And the truth of being a hip-hop connoisseur or a productive member of the hip-hop culture is that every story that you tell resonates with the people within the culture. What makes Rockwell's story so necessary in today's culture of music?
I mean, it's definitely necessary. You know, I don't see artists being able to put together and paint pictures. I'm glad you said stories, because I dropped my last album was Rockwell's Stories, which is 12 songs of just straight stories, you know, different stories, non-related, but all stories that people can relate to. I had a track called "What's Your Life Like," which really, that one really hit me a little bit heavy, because it spoke about the disparaging contrast between when you're coming up as a young black youth. I have my friends that, unfortunately may have took, a couple wrong paths in life, and now, they're not able to tell the story themselves. And aside from other friends who, may have had that opportunity that the other ones didn't, but now somehow they don't, they lack that street smarts that it kind of takes and that people expect of you, being black in America and moving the way we move. So, that kind of just sums it all up right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just a beautiful thing.
Funny. It's funny that you said that, because you took you went too fast for me. I wanted to get in some of this music a little later. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more, but since you went there, let's have a little philosophy.
My bad.
No, I'm loving the interview, bro. Remember, one thing about Heritage Hip Hop, we don't do the standard interview, and you could tell by how we started off the interview, correct?
Yeah, no, you definitely started off at 80 miles per hour. I'm like, I didn't expect to get hit with that one yet, but okay, I'm with it. I'm most definitely with it.
We're not doing what made you rap or how did you get into hip hop, because everybody has the same story.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell your story to you a different way. You came into hip hop because hip hop is not music. Hip hop is God. So if God created you, you were already hip hop. You just found your voice in some part of the culture. Am I correct?
Preach.
All right, so then let's take it to the next level to bring everybody up to speed who's new to Heritage Hip Hop. Shame on them, and everybody who's new to you. Since you took it to the fables, let's talk about what Aesop's fables really were and how your album is a retelling of the Aesop fable. Aesop's fables were stories that taught people about life lessons through characters' eyes. Your album, let me get everything right. Rockwelz stories by Aesop.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you thought I was going to forget the last part?
Yeah, because there was a conflict. They wouldn't let me, so the history behind the album cover, I don't think I ever spoke about this, but the reason why the album cover says Rock Stories by Aesop, but yet when you search it on Tidal or Google Play or whatever it is Rockwelz Stories. It's for whatever reason, the analytics, whatever it is, they didn't like using Aesop Rock, which Rock is my government name. I can't tell me I can't use that. But being that there's another artist out called Aesop Rock, they didn't want that in the titles, which I understand. So, but I guess, I'm glad that you brought that up, because you still got the point and the gist of it. Playing off of that Aesop fables and telling those stories that to resonate with people. Exactly.
True, and that album is very punctual because it's an eye-gripping story. See, when most people make hip-hop, they go for the ears and the heart. You have an album that's eye-gripping. Let's talk about it for a quick second, because you brought up Fred the Godson. That's Lil Man Got Heart, and that's a riveting story about someone coming of age who had to live the struggle to come to age.
Yeah.
Tell me about that track and what made it so special.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I feel like we were all, growing up, I'm a New York City cat, I've lived in a couple of different boroughs. So I represent the greater New York. But I feel like, and wherever you are, just growing up, wherever you are, and if you black, you have to, you grow up a certain way and you have to take certain paths, and it's not an easy transition becoming a man. It's not an easy transition. And, you have to have heart. And I feel like, even with the characters that I use in the video, my little man, shout out to OGY, French boy, for playing that role, he was a little more, he had the twisted, the colorful hair, he, almost like the new generation, like the new generation, the younger generation do. And I'm kind of almost like the middle child, kind of trying to coach him through. He may not listen. He may not take heed to what I'm saying. Even though I'm telling him, I've been there before. I did that. I've done this. I understand what you're doing. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better route. And, you know what I'm saying? And just trying to build with him on that level. Because I think like that's the game changer right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that's life or death. That little bit of knowledge that you might get from that OG. Yo, go home, bro. Yo, go home, man. They about to start shooting. Whatever it is, like, you know what I'm saying? They may or may not take heed to it. Yeah.
I want to ask you something about that album, because that album to me feels more like a 90s hip-hop album. And I wanted to ask you, as a New York-born artist, New York gets criticized for not taking care of its original birthing of hip-hop to go towards trendy, radio-friendly hip-hop, mainstream hip-hop.
Yeah.
How do you view your gift when fighting against the mainstream to be heard when your music is just as viable, if not better, than that which is put on the airwaves?
I mean, that's the ultimate fight right there, because, you know, it's basically sacrificing your own wallet and knowing that you can easily take whatever shortcuts necessary to do it, and not signing off and not signing your soul, whatever it is, and saying, you know what, I'm gonna be staying true. I'm gonna be bold. I want to stay independent. I'm gonna make the music that I want to make and I want to give to the people. And it is a very, very difficult choice for any artist. I mean, any artist, especially that's thinking about making music as a business, as a career. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the first thing is how do you make money from this thing? How do you transition from a hobby to, you know what I'm saying, a successful career? But I feel like, I will say this, I feel like us taking the control back, I mean, you know, it is very difficult at this point. But the only way is to, you know, you're not going to hear, you know, Public Enemy or, you know what I'm saying, or Pharaoh Monch or whatever it is on the radio anymore. And you know, and we just got to understand that we have to create our own superheroes. We got to create our own heroes and support our own heroes. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait until they're on Hot 97 or Power 1 or whatever to decide that, okay, this person is somebody that we need to pay attention to and push to the forefront. Like that's our control. So we can't let the major dictate the control when we created this.
That's a very interesting point. I want to ask you, do you like comic books?
I prefer, you know, I'm kind of a nerd a little bit. I didn't get into the comics too crazy, but I will watch like a Kick-Ass or something like that on you know, on a DVD, or like, you know, the comical type of, you know what I mean, spin-off type of show.
We're going to have some fun with this, because I'm about to bring comic book culture into your album.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a very visual, gifted MC.
Thank you.
The people who do that are the people who are into comic books, anime, and cartoons. Now, in that culture, which is also part of heritage hip-hop, it's called blurred hop, where we highlight hip-hop influences in comic books and anime and cartoons, right? We talk to people who create comic books, who are independents. Sound like independent MCs, right? So you got DC Comics and Marvel Comics, and everybody knows their heroes, right? But there's an underground group of heroes that changed the game and made the comic book culture stand on its head. Like, oh shit, there's better shit out here. Part of my language. So like, there's a comic book called Black, which talks about the reason why Caucasians have been killing people of color in white American history is because God put a God gene in us. And near death, that's when the powers came out, and they were trying to harvest the powers for their own good, and they could never get it. Now, let's flip it. Rockwelz is the continuing line of true hip-hop through artistry and storytelling that's underground, that mainstream hip-hop doesn't allow, because they feel that their listeners are not smart enough, or it's too deep for the average listener, and they're wrong. How does he, as a hero, combat that to be great as he always has been, even to the ears who have not heard him yet?
I mean, one artist I will bring up that was very, very dope. How you pull that together. That was really dope. One artist that I could say, and it's unfortunate that we lose our heroes in this way. You know, we just, you know, that's why education is so huge. Just knowing what people mean to our community and mean to, you know, black people in general. But Tupac had such a unique way of one reaching out to the thuggiest of thug that you can, and somehow bringing your ears to listen to what's going on with Brenda and her baby, or what's going on with the mamas in his community. You know, just a way of somehow maneuvering, catching your attention. It's unfortunate that the negative is something that we automatically trigger and say, "Oh, this is interesting."
Right.
But once you sit down and you can digest, you know what I'm saying? I try to make music that you can digest. So, you know, it's not for the first sitting. It's something that you're gonna, you know, sit with and be hearty, you know, it's a hearty meal for a little while. And I feel like he had that gift as well to really kind of grab you, to bring you to something that you may not want to listen to. Like maybe you didn't want to listen to Rockwell's Black Privilege, but because maybe I brought you in with maybe Get the Strap or something that you thought was something that what you were looking for. And then it turns out that, you know what I'm saying, you actually got some jewels at the end of the experience. So, you know, I think there's a way to somehow dial in and manipulate the mind to getting the nutrients that it needs within our music.
You're putting the pill in the applesauce, basically.
Essentially, if it takes that, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying, whatever it takes.
But see, that's where hip-hop's story gets so eloquently told. I mean, let's look at it this way. Whenever an MC or a rapper, because there's not many MCs out there, I just call people MC out of respect, and I don't think there's a lot of artists in hip-hop. I think there's a lot of participants. Artists has to be earned. You know, I just don't call people hip-hop artists. Fuck that, but pardon my language. But once again, let's go back to how your artistry started. So on the parent-teacher conference, right, you wanted to make sure you came in and showed the world you could flow. As the time went on, because we're going to go back since you brought it up, to Rockwell Stories by Aesop, you already established you could rap. You established the fact that you could take listeners on a journey. How did you find your voice, and where do you want to take your listeners whenever they listen to a project of yours?
I mean, I was a shy kid, so I definitely found my voice through music, through writing and expressing myself that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like foreign to me, kind of thinking on the spot. Like, I was never like a big, like, you know, freestyler. Like, you know, I could be in a group of deep thinkers and movers and shakers and just dissecting the situation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they say, you know, the quiet ones, you know, watch the quiet ones, because, you know, the brain is always ticking. You know, I kind of just felt like I needed to show that transition. I love storytelling, songs and music of, you know, of history, all types of music. But, you know what I'm saying, there's something special about, you know, the hip hop storytelling track, like, that just takes you on a journey. Like Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying, children's story that just takes you on a complete journey that, you know, you don't even need the video because the visual kind of guides you through. And I forgot who said it, but they said, you know, somebody said the greatest rappers have been the best storytellers. So I kind of wanted to, you know, prove to my audience, to myself, that, you know, take the time to dissect each song. You know, I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on a journey that you'll hopefully enjoy. You know,
I appreciate that. That is dope, because there's not a lot of story rap anymore. But see, let's peel back that onion a little bit, because All right, let's just forget the music right now. The music does not exist, okay?
Yeah.
I'm from the era where the album cover meant something.
Mm.
Are you from that era?
Oh yeah, I'm yeah. Born
So
in the 80s, man.
let's talk about LL New J with the hat, the chain, the Black Panthers with the chains, like walking like a panther. The LL Cool J references, and then you start out with Pretty Harlem Girl, and you go on into some of that smooth rap that made people fall in love with the art of wordplay. Tell me about that project and what it means to you as you look back at it.
That was definitely a real special project for me. You know, I didn't go too crazy with features, none of that, because
Thank
you
you.
know, yep. And so, salute to LL, you know what I'm saying, one of the greats. You know, I kind of wanted to play off of his style, play off of the LL Cool J, and you know what I'm saying, and just bring back that smooth era. And don't get me wrong, LL had bars too. He was vicious with the
Oh, of
bars,
course.
but you know what I'm saying, he kind of had that niche. He had that niche, smooth shit for the ladies that you could not deny. It was like butter coming off the tongue. And you know, that project real special to me. You know, especially you know, Black Queen, it's, you know, track about my moms and just, you know,
That's where we were going next.
And growing up. Yeah. And just,
That's a
you know
standout song. I love that song, man. Talk about that. We can't go over that like it was a track from my mom. Nah, like go into it, bro.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason why that song hits so heavy too, and a lot of my songs is because, you know, there's a lot of truth to it. You know, that song is, you know, is all truthful. It's all straight from the heart, and it's just a lot of the things that you go through, you know, as a young man, growing pains, growing up, becoming a man, and the one person that you can count on that'll always be there, that you hope. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my mom, she, you know, Caribbean mom, you know, she's one of those, like, look, don't call me from jail because I don't got no bail money for you. You know what I'm saying? She was one of those. So, you know, but just knowing that, you know, no matter what, Mom Dukes, you know, has your back, you know, through all your trials and tribulations and the things that you go through. I mean, you know, I was a little bit of a wild child, and, you know, I think boys kind of sometimes learn that way. We got to bump our head before we learn that, you know, it's not a good idea, you know, and, you know, that was the first time I really, you know, put out an ode, you know, really ode and showed that respect and that praise for, you know, for the queen mothers out there, because, you know what I'm saying, they've been through it all, especially the ones like, you know, like my mom predominantly raised me on her own. So, you know, it was just, you know, tipping my hat. That's, you know, the closer I get to a dear mama, just to tip my hat and say, you know what, you know, everything we do is to bring it back home to the queen mothers, you know, out there in the world.
Facts. Shout out to the moms. You know what I'm saying? Man, for everybody out there, moms are the first representation of God that you have. So always respect our mothers and the mothers of the community. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But yeah, man, I mean, and that's the joy of being able to talk to somebody who's really about the culture and in it. You know what I'm saying? Because you take the time to get your album covers or project covers correct, and you take the time to craft your pen in a way where it's influential and not always reflective. That you're giving and then giving to somebody the joy of having to think about what you're saying.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's so important, and you know, just, you know, growing up and idolizing, you know, certain artists, you know, your Jay-Z's, your Nas, you know what I'm saying, your Big L's, you know, just, I'm a fan of hip hop, and just the way, you know, you can paint that picture. And I love the way, like a Jay-Z track, or, you know, you could listen to 5 years later and finally get something that he said. And he speaks so clearly. That's why I think was key to his popularity and his success, is that he speaks so clearly, but yet there's a lot of decoded message and double entendres and triple entendres that if you don't catch it the first, second, third time, you might catch it on the 100th time that you listen to the track. And,
Right.
I just felt like that, that is kind of what I strive to, to emulate or to strive to have that longevity as far as, music wise, that, people can go back and reflect. And, I hope that, the projects that I put out, they stand the test of time, that you can double back and be like, oh wow, like if it doesn't bring you to a certain time, it'll bring you to a certain feeling, but it still be relevant, to what's going on.
Word. See, and that takes me to the next part of this interview, because you not only rhyme, you produce.
Co-produce, yeah.
So, and that's my thing, like, there's different hats an MC can put on, but the person who embraces the culture doesn't have to put on many hats. They have many heads in the game as well. You know what I'm saying? As a producer, how did that make your style better instead of just leaving you as a one-trick pony in the game?
Yeah, no, definitely. And most of it, I wish, I definitely want to cater to that more and delve into that more. Most of my stuff that I co-produce, it will be with my boy Gutter Brown Productions out of the BX. You know what I'm saying? You come through with the MPC, and there's nothing like being able, especially as an MC, nothing like being able to cater a beat to exactly the flow that you want it to be. Add those sounds and those cadences in, and like that is no comparison. I think the only comparison to that is shout out to Fatone, Albanian guitarist. I used to do a lot of shows with out on the Astoria, Queens. He used to have a trio, a jazz trio, and we used to blow their minds because they'd be doing their jazz thing, and then he'd invite me out, and I'd come out and do it and just spit some verses over the jazz at these spots. And you know what I'm saying? It just like the music, it just changes everything. Just being able to produce or spit over live music or over your own production it's just different. I can't even explain it. Like, it just brings a whole nother element to what you're trying to get across.
I like that you said that, because I believe live performing is the missing thing we don't judge artists and MCs and rappers on, because especially during COVID, we can't see the performance, and that's why I always shout out Ralph McDaniels for Video Music Box, because he made hip hop come alive, because we could see the club, and we could see people perform and dance. You know what I'm saying? And as a writer / producer, I wanted to ask you, when you're writing, what is the transition to become an artist? Does the music speak to you, or are you producing to the music?
That's a good one. A lot of the times I will let the obviously as a writer you're always writing stuff. Whether or not it can go to anything or it's just whatever. You don't know what it's for yet at times. So you always have those those writtens. But a lot of times I do let the beat kind of guide me, and I just wanted my voice to be another instrument along the beat. You know what I'm saying? Just tie in with the beat, and at the same time, which is most important to me, is still getting my point across and getting my point across. A lot of times, if I'm writing a song, I don't even want to get started until I write the hook, because I feel like a lot of artists, they get into it, and they start, oh yeah, these verses, oh yeah, this could go over there, but this could go over there, and that's cool, but I'm just I feel like I like structure. You know what I'm saying? And songs have to make sense to me from beginning to end. So I think people will appreciate that over a longer period of time, that structure. Like, okay, he wasn't in the club and now he's on Mars and now he's what I'm saying, in the bayou, or you know what I mean. So it's just just creating that structure first and then bringing it to life with the bars.
I'm glad you said that, because you gave me a new question I've never asked anyone before. Thank you. This question comes to being, once again, an artist. The greatest hip-hop artist are the ones who are brave enough to change their style and not go towards the norm. You know how everybody praises Kendrick Lamar for doing that? Because he came out with the Section 80, you knew he had subject matter. The Good Kid, Mad City was a narrative, and then the Pimp a Butterfly was like a poet collective, like a spoken word album, and then Damn was like his true hip hop album. We've had people do that way before Kendrick Lamar. I mean, let's give Outkast their respect, because they did it. Let's give Redman his respect, because There's a Dark Side, which a lot of people claim as a cult classic, was like a total separation for what the album. But even you have people who have overarching albums that have a central theme. That's how we got Ready to Die, Life After Death. And unfortunately, we were unable to hear the completed Born Again as it should have been done.
Yeah.
As an artist, how do you test yourself to know that you're growing? Is it the overarching album theme, or is it the collection of ideas to tell a narrative in a project?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I began, I don't think I've ever really, and I'd like to one day think about how the album is going to end at the beginning. But you know, I think even like, let's say like LL New J, for example, you know, I just kind of figured out, let me cater to this thing. I'm not sure if I'm answering the question the way that you.
No, just answer it. It's your truth. Let's go.
But you know, like LL New J, I know I wanted to stick to a certain subject matter. You know, not in particularly, but I know that there'd be a comparable song to still bring you back and hopefully make you think about LL Cool J and the influences that his songs have had in my songs while you're listening throughout. You know what I'm saying? And you know, yeah, things just dialing in and trying to become a master of that. And he was a master of paying that, like, you know, like damn, like LL get all the girls, and who knows if he did or he didn't, but he just painted the picture so nicely in the video drop. You're like, damn, he riding a bike away from the dude's house. Like, this brother's cold. He's just stealth. He got the mask on. He's got the jewelry heist for the chicks. Like, come on now. And you know, yeah. So I wish I could, you know, one day, you know, and who knows? Maybe the next project will be that. But I don't think I ever really thought about it at the beginning and say, all right, this is going to be the storytelling. I just get inspired. You know what I'm saying? Rockwelz stories were just inspiration. Maybe I was watching some, you know, a lot of documentaries or stories at the time, and you know, a lot of storyline hip hop. And just like, all right, this is what's missing, and you know, I don't know, man. It's God given, man. It just somehow starts coming together, and I'm like, wow, this is a whole theme right here. This is a whole like wave, like, you know. I think that's why my music, like, it differs so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know people probably get used to, you know, artists coming out and they know what to expect. But, you know what I'm saying, I feel like even with my next project, the Night Flex and LES, like, you don't know what to expect from it because, you know, it's from my history of projects that are so different, you know, so vast. So, not sure I answered, but
no, but you gave the answer, and that gives me another key to your music, because inspiration comes not only from God within, it also comes from God without or outside of you, and it comes in the form of a crew. And you have the Monopoly crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about your team, and I want to touch on John Jiggs, because he's an MC that I heard of before. And you know, shout out to Mouth. We got some people in there. Let's talk about the team and how y'all work together and inspire each other.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Shout out to John Jake, shout out to Mouth, and shout out to Nam Nitty, man. You know, he's a super producer, man. He up and coming superstar too. And you know what I'm saying, you know, we're gonna make some real big noise when his album drops next month. But I mean, it came together so crazy with us, and I just felt like iron sharpens iron. And, you know, when a lot of times, you know, especially in New York, like, you know, there's a lot of, like, like hate out there. Like there's a lot of hate out there, and you know what I'm saying. And it's hard. It's hard for New Yorker to congratulate somebody else and say, "Yo, you did your thing. You did it." Like, even after a show, like you know what I'm saying. Like you rap your heart out. Give a nigga 35 million bars on stage. You come off the stage. And you know what I'm saying, you might get a head nod, you might get a, you know what I'm saying, that's why I take every greeting like, you know what I'm saying, the genuine greeting like, alright, that's what's up. I already know what it is because New Yorkers, we don't do that. So I know if somebody reaches out to me and says, yo, you did your thing, and you know, which people do, then I know like, we doing the right thing because it's so hard to get that type of, that type of response from New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? It's a very difficult base, as we all know. So I wanted to collaborate with other artists that I knew that I respected their artistry. You know what I'm saying? I respect John Jig's artistry, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as wordsmith wise, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the dopest out to me. Like, you know, I don't need anybody else to stamp that. Mouth, hard, another dope writer, you know, he lives this shit. Everything that he spits about, he lives this shit. Like you know what I'm saying, is as real as it gets. Nam, another dude, he produces all of his music, all of his whole album is produced by him, wrote everything. Like, you know what I'm saying, it's just, how do you hate on that? Like, you know what I'm saying, like, that's my whole thing, how do you hate on that? Like, you just can't, like, I don't understand it. So I just wanted to team up with the dopest dudes that I could. I know they're only going to make me nice and they're only going to make me come a little bit harder every time that I drop something.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, let's go to songs like Monopoly Mob, Rest in Peace Prodigy. I mean, you and John Jiggs, y'all stretched out on there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really went to work. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, Monopoly Mob, I mean, level up. You know what I mean? There's a track record of camaraderie, but I respect you because even though you have features, you don't put that throughout your entire project so people can enjoy your voice as much as the next track. So I commend you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's, you know, Night Flex and LES, and I definitely got Monopoly Families on there heavy. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with the Good People, another dope hip hop duo from New York. And I got this dope singer named Osa on there too, and you know she's from Russia, and she sings so soulful, like you wouldn't even guess it. But you know, I didn't go crazy outside of the family, outside of the clique. I really didn't go too crazy with features as well because you know I kind of wanted, you know, I want people to, you know, understand my music, to love my music and what we doing and appreciate it and know that, you know what I'm saying, that we don't need to do it. We don't need, like, we have everything. We don't really need to venture out. Like, I respect other artists, you know what I'm saying, which is why I want to collaborate with them and do certain things. But when it comes down to we don't need to, you know what I'm saying? We have everything within the clique that I need.
Facts. I want to ask you a question before we close out with the next part of the interview. I want to ask you this question because I think this is the most necessary question I believe needs to be answered when it comes to our genre and our culture. Did technology make the average man a participant and have the chance to be an artist? And is that why people hate in hip hop so much too?
That's deep. It's hard to argue against that, man. I think so. I mean, as much as the technology has helped us, as much as technology has helped us, it is also a hindrance to us if we can no longer take the time and appreciate everything that was put into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, like a dude like Nature. I know, you know, he was definitely cool with John Jig. John Jig collaborated with Nature on a couple of joints, and you know, he kind of, you know, gave him a little bit of insight and a little bit of knowledge from that time when he was with the firm, and like, you know what I'm saying, he got He got $1 million. I think he got $1 million deal. He said when that shit dropped, and it was like that's crazy. It's like why is it so difficult for artists now? I mean, it's because you don't appreciate it. So you're like, the worst thing you could say to an artist after he plays his music for you, he's like, that was crazy, I'm about to start rapping too, man. I'm about to, I just bought a microphone from the computer. I think, I'm about to just freestyle. I'm about to upload something to it just, it just completely takes the fizz out of you and the life out of you. People just think that they could just dive in just because you can snatch a beat off of YouTube and rap over it and upload it, and it could be on TuneCore, it could be out the next 24 hours. It doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have everything you do, it has to have, for one, a message, because this is there's a lot of power in words. I tell my son this all the time, like, words, they're powerful, and they can, I believe anyway, that they can create. Your words can create truth and create life and create, you can't, like I think about what I do tremendously. I try not to overthink it, but I think about, what I do and what I'm telling the people and the message that I want to give them. And to just, turn around and just say, all right, let me just, upload this and, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just like, it hurts. It hurts, you know what I'm saying? I think it hurts the culture more than anything. So yeah, I have to agree that, people don't, I used to cop the source, cop the double XL, like, oh, this person's on the cover, let me see what they said, let me read the article, let me, you know what I'm saying, check this blog. Like, people don't want to take the time. They don't want to take the time even for stuff that they like. Unless they find that 1,000 or 3,000 people already liked it. Now it's something that they could get on board with and think this is something of importance. But typically the stuff that goes viral quick is probably either like something that's like real negative or something real, you gotta come out real boisterous, you gotta have like rainbow hair, you gotta, do something, boisterous out of the ordinary other than just being nice. So, it completely changes the atmosphere, the culture. So yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because in heritage hip hop, I don't care if you got 1 view, 1 stream, or 1 million. If you have something about it that I like, I will talk to you, because the Most High gave you a story and you have a right to tell your story. So with that being said, please tell everybody how to follow you on social media so they can follow you, get your music, and experience what we're talking about.
Cheer, man. Once again, man, I appreciate you having me on. I go by the name of Rockwelz, 1L1Z. My easiest way to get to the music, get to the videos, just dropped a crazy track, Static Selector produced, joint with John Jiggs, featuring John Jiggs, called Classy Dons. That's the first single on my upcoming album coming up real soon this month, called Night Flex and LES. Y'all gonna really enjoy that, man, especially if you from the city and you know what I'm saying, you know Lower East Side and go out to those lounges and those bars and you miss going outside. Hopefully it'll bring you a little bit, you know what I'm saying, a little bit closer to the variations and the different elements that you get when you go down there. Like, it's so much different sounds and so much different people and culture. The easiest way to get all that is heading to the website, monopoly.com, and you're going to do X's instead of O's. So MXNXPXLY.com. Monopoly till we die. You already know it.
All right. So with that being said, everybody, I want to say, if you find an MC that you like, an artist that you like, and they have music that you like, you don't have to get a bottle of water, especially if you're not really hot. You don't have to get a scratch off. You can take that dollar and buy a single. And if they have a project that you like, spend the $7, $8, $9, $10, because you not only are you showing yourself more music, but you're showing loyalty to an artist who you like. So please, streaming is good, but purchasing is better, and purchasing is power. And if the internet went down today and you did not purchase your music, all the music that you love is gone and you're not really as hip-hop as you think you are. So let's support our movement, support our culture, and support our artists.
That's
all right?
a fact. That's a fact. Yes, sir. Got the merch, everything on there. It's going to be dropping real soon, man. So definitely support that. The merch is already available on the site. So y'all check that out too. Get those early shirts and hoodies. You already know.
And with that being said, it's time for the rapid fire questions. You ready for that?
Oh man. Oh gosh.
Okay. So look, the rapid fire questions are not yes/no questions. They are questions that show your depth. So I don't care who got the fattest butt on Instagram or stuff like that. I care about what you create, how you create it, and what inspires your creation. So you ready to go?
I think so. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Question number one. What song or album perfectly describes your life and it was made from another artist? It's not one of your songs.
Jay-Z in My Lifetime. Volume 2.
Really? So what's the standout song on there that says that's me? Like that, like there's something on there that made you, when you heard it, say that's me right there. Which one was that one? Well, it could be all of them, but which song stands out?
You're gonna be very surprised. Coming of Age.
Really?
Coming of Age, believe it or
How
not.
so?
I mean, I was doing some skedulous activities at the time when that album came out, and somehow it encapsulated between Memphis verse on that, the way he started that off, and I know Coming of Age dropped not long after that. It just encapsulated what I was dealing with in the streets and what I was going through in the streets and trying to stamp my name and trying to make my, you know what I'm saying, you trying to make your place and put your stamp in the world.
Okay. That's deep. Okay, wait. I'm kind of lost again, but that's a great answer. You know why that's a great answer? Because unfortunately in hip hop and our culture, people had to do activities to stay alive. You know, it was the way people got to make their money. It was the way people got to take care of their families. You know what I'm saying? And even though society looks down on it, it's what society gave people because there was not a fair chance. You see what I'm saying?
I know it's a rapid question. I'm gonna add one thing to what you just said. And Killer Mike said it so lovely on that Netflix program that he did, is that he stopped judging people on how they make their money, because at the end of the day, America was built on corruption, robbery, thievery, and everything else in between. And guess what? You forget everything that Carnegie and all of these guys did. I mean, these people were cutthroat. The people who built this country, cutthroat. And you forget about all of those things that they did once it all subsides, and you see that their accomplishments. Now that their accomplishments and the buildings are erected and the buildings are stamped and the monuments are put up, you forget about that. So it's only us that we continue to criminalize no matter what. Oh, Jay-Z was a drug dealer. Oh, he's doing all these things. He was, we're the only ones that still do that to each other instead of saying, wow, look what this person did. Like, we don't, they don't do that to Trump. They put him on a pedestal and say, hey, he did. Now they're bold enough to say, hey, he did it. He grabbed it. He did it. But they'll talk about their accomplishments first before they bring their people down and say, oh, how did they do that? Yeah, he scrambled. He worked and did whatever he could to get out of it.
Hey man, that's the American lie. And the reality of what it is. I heard KRS-One once say, back in the day, they used to tell you, you want to be a rapper, you better go to school. If you are a rapper, your album didn't sell yet, might as well sell crack. And nowadays is, damn, you going to college? You might as well be a rapper because at least you make some money while you do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the game has changed completely, even the understanding of the struggle, the journey, and the victory of what the music, the culture, and the lifestyle is. So salute to you for overcoming and becoming an astute man of the culture as well. Salute.
Appreciate you.
All right, so here goes question number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to let you choose. Should we go a little easy or should we just keep our foot on the gas? What you want?
I mean, you already brung it, so, now I think I can handle anything.
All right, here we go. What's the greatest remix of all time in hip-hop history?
Oh, my goodness. Rap it. Oh, my goodness. The greatest remix of all time.
Sure.
Slave in your ear.
Okay, that's one of the great ones. True indeed.
Slave in the ear. Yeah, I gotta go with that, the black and white.
So, with Flavor in the Ear,
No, I'm sorry. No, take it back. Rest in peace, Big. Oh, shit. What's the name? Oh, my brain is just going blank. We got the red line from front to back. Oh, my.
That's Victory.
Where the hell you back?
That's
Victory
Victory.
remix.
Well, Sad Lloyd Banks, that one?
Lord Bang the G. Yes.
Okay. No doubt. All right, they're all great.
That was
so, remixes or we either changed the beat or we added people. So adding people was something that made, the song long living. You know what I'm saying? It brought new life to it. But see, when you add people to a song, that's called a feature or a guest 16. And sometimes there are tracks where the feature or the guest 16 outshines the main artist. So my question to you is, who has the greatest guest 16 in hip-hop history?
Greatest guest 16. Oh my God! I know I'm gonna want to backtrack all these answers, man, because I'm not gonna think about them when I'm ready to. Oh my goodness!
Wait till this drop when all your peoples hear it.
I know. They're gonna be so upset. They're gonna be so upset. But I'm gonna tell you I don't know if it's the greatest, but the first one that comes to mind, is the All I Need remix with Meth. You know what I'm saying? That
so
what
was the feature? It was just Meth.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, Mary. I mean, it was Mary's track, right?
No, it was Meth's track. Mary was the feature.
Oh, sis, I can't even use.
Yeah, I'm about to say. So you think Mary killed that song so bad that Method Man was non-existent? Really?
Well, you didn't say it like that. Like the main artist becomes you did. That the main artist becomes non-existent.
Who has the greatest guest 16 in history? Meaning that when they were asked to come on the song, they tore the song up, so everybody forgot about the main artist who had the song.
I gotta say, then rest in peace, ODB, Fantasy, Mariah Carey.
Wow, that's a good one. I see nobody had ever said that on Heritage Hip Hop, so salute to you. That's the first.
Hey, they not listening. See, like a lot of dudes in the hood. I feel like ODB he kind of put Mariah Carey on the map, and somebody just brought it. My lady just brought this to my attention. She's like, they wasn't even in the same place when the video came out. Like they shot the video in two. Like they weren't even together.
True
so
indeed.
Mariah, she's probably like the diva, like, no, I don't want that. Old dirty. I don't want it nowhere near me. But she wanted that feature because that cemented her. That cemented her on the hip hop level, and now everybody started gravitating towards it. Just brought in her audience. I didn't know who really Mariah Carey was like. I was listening to her. But
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Mariah Carey said "Old Dirty Bastard" was her favorite member of Wu-Tang, and she was dying to get him on that song.
Okay.
So take that. Yeah, so take that with you, man. Like that's a great answer. I like it. But here we go. But I mean, now we got the feature and we got your favorite remix. Here's a new question just for you. What does rapping on somebody else's beat bring out of you that does not come out of you rapping on your own beat? because you brought up a new single with Static Selector and John Jiggs right now, which is out. What's the name of it again? Pardon me for not having the information.
No problem. Classy Dons.
Classy Dons with John Jiggs, produced by Static Selector, who does the theme song for the company man Justin Hunt. That's how I know his beats, because it says Static Selector in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So what does rapping on another credible producer's beat bring out of you that does not come out of your own beats? Like, what do their beats give you that you're not getting?
Well, I'm going to answer the first one. Because first you said remix. What is jumping on somebody else's beat, like that, a beat that's already been out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, if you're an artist and you're doing the right thing, your goal is to spit a verse that can easily have become a feature verse on the original track, or make somebody completely forget about the original track and remember your version. And I think 50 Cent was like the guru or a genius to me in doing that, because when Genius came out remixing everybody's stuff, I was like, holy, my freaking brain like blew up. I'm like, holy crap. Like they remixed everything and they made their version so much dope. You have to be like, damn, do I even want to listen to the original right now?
And nobody brings them up when I ask those questions. Think about that.
Nah, yeah, he's the greatest.
Yeah, you're quiet and made it classic. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Yo, I appreciate this conversation. Thank you very much. But once again, you jumped on another producer's beat. So how do their beats bring out a different animal in you than you jumping on your own beat?
Oh yeah, well no, definitely. I mean, you definitely take a little bit more oomph, because you now want to compare yourself to the people that the producer has collaborated with. So I'm like, all right, I'm not none of these guys. I'm not Joey Badass. None of these people that long list of people that he's produced for. But I want to show the world what I can do on a Static Selector beat. Don't give me a beat from him. Like don't allow this to happen again, because you know what's gonna take place, and you know that he can spit with the rest of them. He can I respect Static Selector's production. I'm a fan of his. Boom. And this person, he's done the beat justice. He's done his artistry work justice. And that's all you really want to do is the thing as an artist is just you want to they bring the best out of themselves to create the production. You want to bring the best out of yourself to match that and really not let the beat outshine you at the end of the day.
Facts. Now, see, that's called creation. So now I'm going to give you the chance to be the ultimate creator. All right?
Okay.
You have the opportunity to make your perfect song. Who's producing it or who's featuring on it with you? And there's no limitations, dead or alive.
I don't even know if this combination. I don't even know if this combination adds up. I don't even know if this combination adds up at all. But Pete Rock produced it.
Okay.
And Michael Jackson featured it. And
so you want a song with you, Michael Jackson, and Pete Rock?
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Hey, man.
Yep. Let's do it. I'm feeling it.
Man. Pete, if you're listening, peace, King. Holla at me, bro. If we might not get Mike, I'll settle for Bruno Mars. We get Bruno Mars on that thing.
Okay, so you supplement Mike with Bruno Mars. It's two still great artists, and that's salute to you. So that means your ear is bigger than just rapping to be the hardest guy. You're actually trying to hit the feeling and the emotion of music as well, and that's dope. I respect you for that.
Nah, yeah, I listen. I love all music, and the last thing I want to do is paint myself. It may not be for everybody. This next single, when you get it, you may just want to skip to the next. I don't know. I think it's pretty dope. It's called Just Dance with Osa, that Russian singer I was telling you about. She did an amazing job. You know what I'm saying, the beat, it's just something to bring a little bit more life and more depth, into the hip hop music that I'm creating. So this one's a little more dancey, dance slash pop, whatever you want to call it. I think I still represent it. I still came hard as I would, and I think it's something that people can really enjoy. And it's gonna take a lot of people like, oh, is this the same guy? It's gonna mess a lot of people up, but I hope that they enjoy it. And that's gonna drop on the 24th of this month.
That's what's up. So it's time for the new single, everybody. We gotta support our artists, so make sure you not only get the music, but you enjoy the music, and if you love it, you purchase the music straight up. I have two more questions, and then we're gonna end this out. So here's a question that I don't really ask a lot of people because I try to keep it nominative to just one. But since you're a part of a collective, do you think groups are ever going to come back? And is a collective the same as a group?
To be honest, I don't think groups went away. Successful groups, I don't think they went away. If G-Unit was to drop an album right now, we'd get it. The Lox was to drop an album right now, we'd get it. Many others, that are successful and that I really enjoyed in my book. The Firm, oh my God, what would I do for a Firm album right now?
Really?
So I don't think they've gone away. You know what I'm saying? Monopoly, we all dropping solo joints right now. But best believe that, God willing, by the end of the year or the top of the year, we see how we mixing and moving things. We already got a couple tracks in already, you know what I'm saying? But we want to make sure everything comes out right and everything that you really appreciate. Now that you heard all the individuals again, that's where we all started as individual artists, and then we came together as a group. So it's not like we came together as a group and now we, split up as individual artists, so I think just people hearing our individual selves, our individual creativity, and now coming together all on a project, I think it's like a bonus. I think it's like I get John Jiggs, I get Rockwelz, I get Mouth and Non-Nitty all on the same joint. Like it's not even fair. That's why it's a monopoly.
All right. A monopoly is taking over the game in all aspects, so everybody comes to one place. So that's what he's describing, y'all. So with that, everybody, this is Carrez speaking to Rockwelz, storyteller, MC, businessman, producer, and introspective artist in the hip-hop culture. We've come to our last question, and I would like to thank you for coming to our platform. This question is the most important question I ask every artist on their first interview. I state that because you are always welcome to come back to Heritage Hip Hop. We are not industry. We believe in supporting all people in the culture who have a story to tell and making sure everybody at least knows and has a choice to choose you rather than to just find you out of a whim. Let's show everybody that you exist and that your music is relevant. All right?
Already.
So with that being said, here's the most important question of the interview. Unfortunately, one day that you're not going to be walking on this planet one day. We say that right now in the midst of COVID and this craziness going on, to say that we pray to the Most High that nothing happens to you or your family at any time soon. So may the Most High bless you and may your life have many blessings and it runs over. Okay, but
Amen.
Thank you. But in 1,000 years, you're not going to be here, and in New York, there's going to be like a crazy avalanche, like the building's going to fall. Not saying anybody's going to get hurt, but one day a little boy in the year 3214, he's going to that's like that's like over 1,000 years from now. He's going to walk past this building and the ground's going to crack and he's going to find a weird box, something that people don't even use anymore. It's called a laptop. And then his laptop is going to find a foreign technology called the MP3. And he's going to touch this box and one of your songs. Maybe your album is going to come on. The most important question I asked in this interview is this. Now that he's been introduced to your music, what is the legacy? Oh, excuse me for 1 second. What is the legacy that you leave behind that made the world better because you did music?
That was dope. That was very, very dope. You actually, and if that's not a comic yet, you need to work on that. The legacy that I want to leave behind, and I think about that. I have a 12-year-old son. I think about that, and I don't want to, I try not my best to not sugarcoat the world to him, because my mom didn't do that for me. And I was able to, I had a lot of independence as a kid. And I took 3 buses to get from Flatbush to my elementary school in Brownsville. This is 5th grade. So, she gave me a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity to use my own mind, to use my own common sense, my own thoughts, and to not sugarcoat to me the real things that are going on in the world. So I hope that if someone opened that box that said Rockwelz and they listened to some of my stuff, it would for one show them what was happening in a certain period of time, and kind of describe it and show the atmosphere of the world at that time, but also that it would be inspirational to know what was and what could be, and like almost the past, present, and future, essentially, that they can get out of my lyrics and out of my bars and out of everything that I put into my music, and who knows what is still relevant to him a thousand years later. But I truly believe in timeless music and things that you can bring back and stand the test of time 10 years later, hopefully 20 years later, and hopefully 1,000 years later, you can still sit down and enjoy a Rockwelz record. And maybe the terminology is a little bit different, maybe the lingo is a little bit different, the slang is a little bit different, but you know what I'm saying, that I dropped enough jewels and enough motivational music for you to know that, wow, somebody's been through all of that. They pushed forward. They found a positive route. They found a way to mix and maneuver. I think I can do that too. And I think I can live on and live well myself. And I think that's the biggest key. Somebody listen to my stuff to know that this person was fearless. He went against the grain. I didn't hear anything similar to this. And this person wasn't afraid to stand out, be himself, and say what really matters to him. So hopefully that was it.
Well, with that being said, everybody, remember, a timeless artist can exist in 3 planes of reality at one time: the past, the present, and the future. Because what we did today will affect tomorrow, and our yesterdays always bring back better tomorrows as well. Marvin Gaye said that. So with that being said, everybody, make sure you support Rockwelz, and make sure you support us by following us, and make sure you buy that music and keep watch of Heritage Hip Hop, because as we grow and bring you your future favorite artists now, we're changing the culture one ear at a time. So with that being said, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop saying peace, and we out.